Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, I came across this article, and I just need to go through it with you guys just because, I saw a picture of DeAndre Jordan with the Dallas Mavericks logo, and I gotta hear the reasoning behind this. This video is 10 surprising NBA trades that could happen this offseason and 5 that are obvious. This is an article by Ali Remington. I'm gonna go through this and tell you guys if I like these trades or not, if I like these specific players on these teams. But yeah, we all know a few seasons ago, DeAndre Jordan absolutely just freaking hit them with a swerve, guys, of the Dallas Mavericks when he was going to sign with them, and then he got locked in his house by the other Clipper members. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not coming over now, man. So I gotta see the reasoning behind this one, because I would totally be surprised if that were to happen. Okay, the first trade we have is surprising. CJ McCollum for Bradley Beal. This would literally be the most lateral movement in the history of NBA trades. Literally, guys, the most just nothing is going to happen as a result if this were to happen, man. Oh my gosh. Seriously, why would either team do this trade? Seriously, man, why would either team do this trade? What's the issue on the Portland Trail Blazers? Well, their best players is their backcourt and Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum is a high-scoring guard. What's the problem on the Washington Wizards? Well, their best players is also their backcourt, John Wall and Bradley Beal. You get Bradley Beal and CJ McCollum, they essentially do the same thing, and that is score. It don't make no sense, man. These teams need to improve. Yeah, I'm gonna say both these players are very good. They're both 20-plus point per game scorers, but the teams don't need to trade these two pieces for each other. If you want to go a different route, trade them for a center or something like that, or do something else. This is just a lateral movement that makes no sense from either perspective of either team at all. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd just be like, y'all some bitch asses, man. Okay, next up, we got surprising. Kawhi Leonard goes to Hollywood. And by this, probably either the Los Angeles Lakers or the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know if I'd be totally surprised by it. I would be kind of surprised what type of trade package the Lakers would give up for this to happen, because the ones that I have seen personally is along the lines of, Kyle Kuzma, also Brandon Ingram, first round draft picks, things like that for Kawhi Leonard. And I will say, Kawhi Leonard is that type of player that you would give that up for. But damn, dude, I just know that those Laker fans, they absolutely love Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma. I would probably say even Kyle Kuzma the most. Laker fans love that dude. So I'm kind of curious, and how exactly would Brandon Ingram do in a Greg Popovich system? I would actually love to see this. I wouldn't be very surprised by it, I don't think, just because there's so many different teams that Kawhi could go to. And I will say the Lakers have one of the best, probably trade packages they could offer up for Kawhi Leonard, just because the way Popovich can develop young players and everything like that. So I'm definitely not surprised by it. I'd like to see it happen though, just out of curiosity. Next up we have obvious, Reggie Jackson to the Atlanta Hawks. So basically, Mr. Ali, this is what's going to happen. So you're going to say the Hawks are going to get rid of an overpaid, middle-of-the-road point guard, younger, and Dennis Schroeder, and they are going to trade for a older, injury-prone, still a bitch-ass contract in Reggie Jackson. I don't really see how this one's obvious at all. I mean, I guess his contract's smaller, but I will say, what type of trade would happen for you guys to get Reggie Jackson? I know personally my Pistons are not going to take Dennis Schroeder on. We're done with freaking middle of the road point guards. We need a freaking superstar up in here, man. So I definitely don't think this one's obvious. I don't think it makes sense of how this would be acquired. Now, I really can't think of any reason why the Atlanta Hawks would do this trade at all, man. I really can't. Unless it involved maybe them giving up some sort of draft pick and trading away Dennis Schroeder's contract to the Pistons, maybe then. But even that, it's those draft picks are going to be more valuable to the Atlanta Hawks than anything else. All right, next up we have surprising, Brandon Ingram to the Phoenix Suns. So I think the reasoning right here, guys, is just because the Lakers are pretty confident that they could get somebody like a Paul George, a LeBron James, a Kawhi Leonard. Now, if that were to happen, then yeah, it's all of a sudden, Brandon Ingram is probably the odd man out. It's what do you do with him? I don't really think he can run the shooting guard position. I just think he's too lengthy for that. His style of play does not really warrant playing shooting guard. And I feel at the power forward position, he's just not strong enough for that. I mean, you don't want to bring him off the bench. You're definitely not going to do that. So maybe you trade him to the Phoenix Suns. You can get either their current draft pick, which is definitely going to be high, or you could go maybe for a future draft pick, trade him for that. And then all of a sudden, the Phoenix Suns, they get a 20-year-old who realistically would only be in his second or third year of college. So it's they still kind of get a rookie in a sense, just a guy that's been around the NBA for 2 seasons, and somebody that they could build along, with Devin Booker. So I actually do like this a lot for both teams. It depends on who the Lakers would get. If they don't sign LeBron or Kawhi or Paul George or trade for any of those guys, then no, it does not make sense. But if that were to happen, sure, why not? Brandon Ingram to the Phoenix Suns. I feel like he fits that system very nicely. Next up we have, okay, here we go, man. Surprising DeAndre Jordan to the Dallas Mavericks. Let me read this real quick. If the Los Angeles Clippers don't end up making a major move to try and acquire Kawhi Leonard from the Spurs, then they may be looking at a potential rebuild in their near future. The Clippers, as constructed currently, are not a championship caliber team, blah, blah, blah. We know that. They have, okay, here we go. The Clippers have already shown that they are trending in this direction, okay, blah, blah, blah. DeAndre Jordan could very well be the next big name to be moved from the Clippers. I agree with that. I definitely do agree. Jordan could be a hot commodity and could command a nice haul for the Clippers. See, the thing is, though, is that he's going to be like 31 next season. I think he has a bitch-ass contract, and he's athletic-based. Athletic-based players, they don't really do well after 30. I still think he'll be a solid player, for the next 5 seasons. He'll probably be able to get you, 10 points, 12 rebounds, something like that. It says we know Dallas loves Jordan, given their interest in him in the past. Okay. It's time for an analogy, guys. Imagine you at the club, man, hitting up some sweeties or something like that. You walk up to this girl, and she's like, you want to dance? No, you ask her to dance. Like you're gonna sign her up. And then she's like, yeah, I'll dance with you. And you're like, all right, one sec, I gotta go use the bathroom or something like that. And you come out, and she's dancing with her ex-boyfriend. Yeah, you had interest, but that interest is probably gone. AKA, that also happened at my 7th grade dance. Well, I'll get into that later. I know I probably won't, but whatever, bro. This ain't gonna happen, man. Not to mention, you gotta talk about giving up a potential top 5 draft pick. Guys, please, for the sake of my sanity, let me know in the comment section below a realistic trade for DeAndre Jordan, guys. Let me know a realistic trade. There is no way he's going to the Dallas Mavericks, man. All right, next up, we got obvious. Marquise Chris goes to the Memphis Grizzlies. I do think that the Phoenix Suns, they have a ton of forwards on their team, and they just don't simply have enough space for them. The Memphis Grizzlies are probably going into a rebuild unless out of nowhere their GM is like, no, we're going to roll with Mike Conley again this year. We're going to re-sign Tyreek Evans and Marcus Gasol. Even then, Marquise Chris would be a pretty solid player on that team. Says he has got a good shooting stroke and everything. So he's only 20. I'm not exactly what type of player they could get from the Memphis Grizzlies for him. I personally would not give up a first-round draft pick. I mean, maybe a second-rounder, I guess, or something like that. Or maybe like a lottery-protected first, maybe. But even with that, it's like, I can't really see a good trade for the Phoenix Suns where they could, really acquire a player that would help them now more than, just keeping Marquise Chris around and maybe use him in a future trade package with somebody else. So, I don't know. Definitely not really feeling that. Next up, we got surprising. Kevin Love to New Orleans Pelicans. All right. Once again, maybe potentially a sign-and-trade could work right here. And the only reason I think a sign and trade could work is because DeMarcus Cousins, he might not get that max contract right away. Now, the Pelicans are totally committed to him just not being on the team. That's fine and everything like that. But they would still want to get some sort of value back if possible. Now, if they were able to do a sign and trade with Kevin Love, then DeMarcus Cousins goes over to the Cavaliers. Maybe they keep LeBron James. Everything is happy out there, right? Because I don't think the Cavaliers as of right now would be able to just sign Kevin Love. They have a lot of DeMarcus Cousins, because of their salary cap, paying a ton of money to Tristan Thompson. I think Ronnie Hood's going to need a new contract. Jordan Clarkson, he's getting about $12 million a season. So yeah, there's a lot of people getting paid on that team. Now, if you were able to do this, though, then, you run Anthony Davis at the center position, Kevin Love at the power forward, you trade the contract right there, you give, DeMarcus Cousins like a 1 or 2 years deal just because, and still for a lot of money, right? Just not that max contract. Allow him to kind of prove himself that he's healthy once again, gets to play alongside LeBron James on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I actually do like this a lot, especially, if the Cavaliers don't do well in the NBA playoffs at this point. I mean, it's currently 5-13, so they are going into the Eastern Conference Finals at the making of this video. We'll see how Kevin Love plays. If he plays well, then yeah, he obviously would stay around. But I actually like this for both teams. I feel like Kevin Love with Anthony Davis could do some great things, especially with his rebounding and 3-point shot. So why not give it a try, right? All right, next up, what's this, man? You're from Miritich and Pelicans? No, man, it's gotta be Boogie, man. It's gotta be Boogie. Okay, so we got Goran Dragic to the Denver Nuggets. I've been saying forever now, the Nuggets, they have a great front court. Y'all have Paul Millsap. I mean, we'll see how he is next season, because he'll be about 34 at that point, something like that. You got Nikola Jokic, one of the best centers in the NBA. What you guys don't have is that natural point guard. Like, Jamal Murray is great and everything. He's a bit young. He's a good scorer. I definitely like him more as like a shooting guard. I would probably say, but y'all got Garrett Harris right there too. I just want a guy like Goran Dragic would be perfect, man. Like, this NBA season, 20 points per game? Oh, no, I'm sorry. This season, 17 points per game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, does a little bit of everything out there. Could play alongside Gary Harris very nicely. Jamal Murray, maybe use him as a 6-man off the bench at times. Could play backup point guard and shooting guard, so he's going to get his minutes out there. And you would just get that veteran presence. I like this a lot, guys. I really don't know what trade would happen for this either. You might have to give up like a Jamal Murray or something along those lines to make that happen, which I guess even that I would still probably do just to have a shot at things. Next up we have, Kenneth Faried too, man. Maybe trade him too. Okay, we got, obvious. Oh, this one's obvious, bro. Okay, Kemba Walker to the Big Apple. Would I like to see Kemba Walker team up with Kristaps Porzingis? Yes, I would. I think that right there actually does have some pretty good potential just because of the type of scorer that Kemba Walker is. Will kill you in the isolation. The pick and roll game with Porzingis could be absolutely dominant. What type of trade would need this to get done? Well, it depends what kind of direction the Hornets want to go through. Michael Jordan's already been on the record to say that he's not just going to give away Kemba Walker, which is fair. And he wants to try to get a star back for him. I don't think that's the right move because you're not going to get equal value back for Kemba Walker. You're just simply not. But I will say, like maybe like a Frank Ntilikina and a first-round draft pick. That's something to think about, I guess, just because, Frank Ntilikina will be that rebuilding point guard for the Charlotte Hornets going forward. So, and then all of a sudden, the Knicks with Kemba Walker, Tim Hardaway, Kristaps, and plus their draft pick, that's some nice scoring right there. So I actually do like that a lot. Next up, we have surprising Cleveland trades for Hassan Whiteside. Okay, now if LeBron James stays on the Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm all for this. I can't really think of a good trade package though, guys, just because like maybe some of the young pieces like a Rodney Hood and a sign trade deal or something like that, just because Hood's kind of fallen out of the rotation for the Cleveland Cavaliers at the making of this video. So maybe him and also Thompson and a draft pick or something like that. Just because like Hassan Whiteside, we all kind of witnessed in the NBA playoffs that he kind of lacks maturity. When he actually is zoned in and focused, he is an absolute beast. So if there's anybody that is going to get, keep this man grounded and get the most out of him, it's going to be Coach LeBron James, right? So if LeBron doesn't stay with the Cleveland Cavaliers, there's not really any point of doing this. But yeah, I would absolutely love Hassan Whiteside to play with LeBron and Kevin Love. Just they would have to work out. It would not be a great trade for the Miami Heat, but I think at this point, Heat fans are just kind of ready to get rid of him. So why not take a shot on Hassan Whiteside? Once upon a time was one of the better centers in the NBA. Our next up, we got surprising Klay Thompson enters the Eastern Conference. Well, if I do remember correctly, I do think that Klay Thompson is in talks to sign an extension with the Golden State Warriors. One thing I did read, though, is that he is going to be leaving $50 million on the table. That is commitment. That is loyalty. That is something that actually makes me respect Klay Thompson a lot for. I mean, because when it comes to the NBA, it's a business. Like, teams look at Blake Griffin, man. The Clippers got rid of him just like that. Like, he freaking threw him out of their house like that, bro. So the fact that Klay Thompson's willing to do that, it shows kind of how one side the loyalty comes in the NBA. Like, a player would be expected to do something like that, where an NBA team, they could just get rid of a player. Nobody really, bats an eye or nothing like that. So I expect him fully to stay with the Golden State Warriors. While I like to see him go in the Eastern Conference and kind of lead a team, I do think he has potential to be a 25-point per game scorer as number one option. We got to keep in mind that what he does in his NBA career has always been as the second or third option of NBA team. Now, with that being said, too, a lot of that comes down to, defense is double teaming Kevin Durant or Stephen Curry and leaving a guy like that. I want to say leaving him open because you don't leave Klay Thompson open. But, in the back of mind, it's like, we got KD over there. Maybe I should help a little bit, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Next up, we got Dennis Schroeder to the Phoenix Suns. I mean, once again, I don't see a good reason for this. Elfrid Payton, Dennis Schroeder, tomato, it's whatever, bro. This guy's got a very large contract, so I don't know what. I guess if you want to commit to the backcourt of Dennis Schroeder and Devin Booker, you guys gotta let me know in the comment section below. What type of player do you think Dennis Schroeder can honestly be? Like, when he reaches his absolute prime, I feel like I'm hating on him this video. I just don't really see it. I don't see him like being like the leader of a playoff team. Do you think he can honestly be like a 20 plus per game scorer, near 10 assists? Do you feel like he could be that? Because all of a sudden, yeah, maybe you go for that. I just feel like right now he kind of got like, they kind of jumped the gun on the type of contract they gave him. Like, that contract should have been after this current contract if he would have proved himself. If that makes sense, I think it does. All right, next up, we got Otto Porter finds a new home. Now that bitch ass contract, bro. You got a 4-year, $106 million contract, okay? I mean, Washington Wizards, you guys kind of locked yourself into him. He was he wanted to go to the Brooklyn Nets, like, and that would have been a great signing for them. But it's not going to happen. There is no team that is going to trade for this man for that $106 million contract. I mean, unless you are willing to take like nothing back. That's the only way. If you are simply just trying to get rid of his contract, then yeah, you can trade for some expiring deals. But even still, that just like, that almost warrants the freaking GM getting fired from the team. You know what I'm saying? Because you all matched that contract literally a year ago, and you're already trying to trade him, and now you're not going to get no value back for him. It's going to set things back even more. I actually like Otto Porter. I think he's a good three-point shooter. He's like, what, 6'8", 6'9", could potentially become better on defense. I don't really see a big reason unless they are trying to go for like a big-time free agent like a DeMarcus Cousins or somebody like that. But even with that, man, there's different ways. You got Ian Mahimi, who could potentially try to package away with somebody to free up some money. I don't see it happening. Okay, next we got Bobby Portis to the OKC Thunder. I actually do like this a lot. Bobby Portis in the right system, I do think could be about a 15 to 17 point per game score. He definitely showed some signs of brilliance on the Chicago Bulls. And it's like, I can see where the Bulls want to keep him around. The issue is that he is a power forward naturally. So, what's the player on the team that plays the same position? Lauri Markkanen. So, he goes over to the OKC Thunder. He's not really like type of guy that demands the basketball. It's like, yeah, he will take his shots and everything. But he's the type of scorer you want alongside Russell Westbrook. Just a guy that, when he does so happen to get the ball, he'll put it up and he'll get some buckets with it too. So I actually like the idea of Bobby Portis to the OKC Thunder at the power forward position, hopefully to start too. I mean, Melo wants to start though. So, but even with that, if y'all don't get Paul George back, you start Melo at small forward, Bobby Portis at power forward. That's some pretty good scoring, hopefully, right? All right, and finally we have Jaylen Brown to the Sacramento Kings. Listen up, Celtic fans. What would you guys need? What could the Sacramento Kings possibly offer you guys to want to trade Jaylen Brown over to them? I'm not seeing it, man. I don't see any reason. Y'all could get so much better than whatever Sacramento Kings could offer up. It looks like they're thinking this dude wrote out a 2020 first round draft pick and also Skal Labissiere for Jaylen Brown. No, man, you all could probably get a borderline all-star for this man, or you could just keep him because he's a really good basketball player. So I definitely am not feeling that. I will say some of these I definitely did like. Some of these were really good, well and thought out trades. Others, not so much. There was a few bitch-ass ones out here that I was just not feeling, guys. Let me know in the comment section below, though, what type of trades you would find surprising to happen this NBA offseason. Thank you all so much. I guess I would be surprised if it was the Kings, though, so I guess there is bonus points for that. But thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.